The team effort that's going on with the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And what they're doing is they're putting together a public-private partnership to lease right-of-way in the Turnpike corridor to lay fiber. The Turnpike has information needs going forward, and they see that fiber is an important part of what they're going to do, whether it's, smart monitoring, whether it's cameras and all the digital kind of stuff. You have a piece of Turnpike that goes through Lebanon County, and one, I just wanted to let you know that there's this discussion going on at the Turnpike. There may be opportunities in that corridor in the near future, so if you have townships, boroughs, or the county has needs in that corridor, it's something that it's a seed for thought. It's just something to tuck away at this point. And if you have any questions, I can get people at the Turnpike to answer any questions you have. Right now it's in, they had a, I don't want to call it a request for a proposal, but it was sort of a gathering of private industry and people who might be interested in doing the project about a month ago. And they're going through all the numbers now and trying to figure out if it's possible, if anyone's interested, how interested they are. Part of the Turnpike's issue, or the issue they're going to face, is that so much of the Turnpike's in rural Pennsylvania, there's not many users along the way. So if you're a private company, that's where you make your money, is on the end user. So they're trying to figure out how to do this. But that was the one reason why I wanted to reach out to you, is to let you know that's going on. There may be some opportunity for the county going forward, or even some municipalities beyond that. The second, what the Turnpike is doing is that they have right-of-way, and they can't afford to lay the fiber themselves, or it's extraordinarily expensive. They know they have data needs going forward, so they're trying to get a partnership they're trying to get a partnership with a public company or a private company to do the work. The Turnpike will take, by letting them use the right-of-way, they'll take their data needs as sort of in lieu payment, and then the private company will have the opportunity to market the other excess data capacity to anyone along that path. So when we worked for Mr. Murtha, when I worked for Mr. Murtha, one of the things that we found most productive was meeting with county commissioners once, twice a year. Go over, what are your priorities? What are you trying to accomplish? Where can we help? So that's why I wanted to reach out to you, is just to say, look, I'm at the Department of Ag. I mean, you're close to Harrisburg, so it's not like you're a million miles away. I'm from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, so sometimes those mountains make us feel like we're a million miles away from Harrisburg. So I think you have probably a little more access than some others might, but sometimes you still get that feeling like, do they even know we're out here, whether it's Harrisburg or DC. Obviously, being in the Department of Agriculture, I've worked more with Department of Agriculture staff than I do other departments or other agencies, but I have access to all of them. So the mission of the Rural Development Council is I'm an advisor to the governor on rural issues, and I'm an advocate for rural Pennsylvania to the governor. So what I try to do, what I'm trying to do, is get around, talk to people, find out what are you trying to do, how can I help. So with that, I will stop talking, and if you want to talk about things that you feel that, one, you have issues that aren't being addressed and you'd like to see a little more action, or two, things that are part of your long-term view of what's going to go on in Lebanon County, and you want more people to play a role in making sure that we get to that end game.
Well, I guess clean water's on my mind.
Okay.
Do you know if the state has a long-range plan for potable water? I see water wars in the western states, and I know we were through a prolonged drought this summer, and it was finally in the Daily News when they reduced it a little bit, but we're still on a watch as far as I know. Mm-hmm. I just fear for the day, because we continue to develop and develop and develop. Today we were asked about putting in another warehouse.
Okay.
So I don't know how many EDUs a warehouse takes. Probably not too many, because it's mostly
just
stationary
space.
items. Yeah.
Right, right.
But still, as restaurants and other things develop, I just wonder, is anybody looking at the big picture of water supply? other than the water companies themselves?
You know, and I don't know that. I can certainly talk to, I imagine folks at DEP, DCNR have some long-term view of it, but I don't know offhand, even Department of Agriculture, because we rely so much on water.
I was thinking irrigation from the farming end.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're so blessed with water in Pennsylvania, so I think that many times people don't think of it because we've never really had, other than specific instances, had to have long-term worries about aquifers being filled. But certainly I can follow up and find out if there is a long-term sort of look at where's our water supply, how much are we using, what is happening because of development. And certainly in the Susquehanna Valley, there's a lot of development. And so that discussion about what's that mean to not only from a conservation or a sustainability picture, but also from a pollution and how can I say this, taking out of production agricultural lands and putting them into more suburban housing and that type of thing.
And I know the Susquehanna River Basin Commission probably has some information too, but I haven't seen a concise report that gives just, you know, a general overview of, yes, we're in good hands, or no, we're not.
Yeah.
And we have
Are you familiar with our expo center here?
Not really, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, we have a fantastic facility really that grew out of some thoughts by some far-thinking farmers many years ago, and we're in the process. I serve on that board, and we're in the process of evaluating, starting with new mission and vision statements and things like that, because what has been done over the years is they need a building, so they build a building, and they need an addition, they build an addition, and we've gotten to the point where we feel we should do some long-term planning and try to meet the needs rather than just build something as we go along. So,
How big is it?
because it is the fairgrounds as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
So I guess my question is probably twofold. Is there someone in your department or another department that might help facilitate that planning? And secondly, is there any funding at all? And I know that's a tough question this day and age, but an example, the 4-H, the hog farmers, the 4-H club, for their numbers are way up, so you know they want us to very quickly build another hog barn so that they could show more hogs, and we kind of held off on that. And last year we put up a tent and borrowed some stalls from E-Town Fair, but now they're a little concerned that E-Town's not going to be able to make those available. And just just a general question as to, you know, is there someone that might be able to help in that planning effort from your department, or are you a one-man?
Who owns who? Well, yeah. I am the Rural Development Council.
It's a nonprofit organization. It's managed by a board of directors.
Okay, so it's not affiliated with the county.
Well, not directly.
Do you support it?
We do support it through our hotel tax money, because
Okay.
they're, according to a study we had done there, like 33% of the overnight stays can be attributed to the facility.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, two things I can think of is, one, DCED has a local government entity that they can come in, and they're mostly about processes and kind of stuff, and they're government. I don't know if this would fall under their purview, but they can help with strategic planning and that kind of stuff. What I was thinking of is USDA Rural Development has a community facilities program that it's low interest, long-term loan. It's not grant money, but it might be something that this would be eligible for that.
Doesn't want
Is
us
it,
to.
is it a stream bed or something, or?
That's part of it. It's
Or a
it's
trail.
replacing a bridge. We've only been at it for 12 years, but you know, we have to find a place. The old bridge is historic,
Oh,
so
I
we
see.
have to find a place for it. It can't just be
Torn apart
right.
or district
So that's
demolished.
been the whole.
DCNR, is that where historic stuff falls under?
No, it's
part of the state
it's a
park.
chain, yeah, we had to find a place for the bridge. One of the solutions was to simply have it restored and set to the side on DCNR land,
Yeah.
but they initially liked it, and now they came back and said they don't, so we're kind of on our third or fourth location to put this old bridge.
Well, if you want to send me, you have my email. If you want to send sort of a quick brief,
We might have a solution.
yeah, you know, I'm never afraid to make noise. And
And
okay,
also, our Lebanon Valley Ag Center is a building that the county and the Expo Corporation went together and built, and it houses the USDA, the NRCS, and State
Conservation
Cooperative
District.
Extension
Oh,
and
okay.
Conservation District. So it's an ag-related, office building. So that might be a good place to maybe distribute your card and
okay.
introduce yourself, and because that's again, like I said, that's where USDA is, so you might be able to find out.